Hi. Before going to video, please subscribe to my channel for more interesting stuff.
Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/rango_unchained. TIFU by meeting a kinky girl. Obligatory, not actually today, but the summer before college I was at my friend's house show, just trying to squeeze in some last minute tomfoolery before we all went our separate ways. After the band played their first set, I started striking up conversation with the bassist, we'll call her D. She was in many ways the kind of rock and roll girl you dream about meeting, knows all the cool artists, terminally chill, and of course, as goes without saying, has seen the movie Trainspotting. Oh yeah, and exceptionally beautiful. We hit it off almost immediately, and both quickly figure out that we're going to college across the country in LA, although about 2 hours apart. We get each other's numbers, and stay in touch as we head out west. Pretty early on, we begin flirting over Snapchat. When it becomes clear what we plan to do when I'm able to get on a train to visit her, the conversation goes to the message feature of the app. It doesn't take long before I find out that she's extremely into BDSM, and we start sexting about the sorts of things we're going to do when we can meet up. I won't go into the details, but she was something of a pro at this kind of thing, and had plans to convert her dorm into a sex dungeon. Yeah. Certainly, this being one of my earlier serious relationships, I was enthralled. I had always been drawn to bondage thing, but having grown up in a traditional Catholic environment, it was never really anything any of my previous girlfriends were privy to. Needless to say, I was counting down the days to the weekend to when I could experience my first dominatrix. Being that our constant Snapchatting was killing my battery, I asked her about 5 days before my big journey out there if we could move to Facebook Messenger, which I imagined was a little bit easier on the old lithium lifespan, even if it meant Zook would be watching our role plays unfold from the huge panopticonal screen in his office. She complied, and that's where the fuck up begins. With less than a week to go, our messages get even more explicit, with her detailing her plans for her dungeon and telling me the things she wanted me to do to her, and the equipment she was planning on buying. The build-up was tortuous, but we both knew it would be worth it. A couple of times my roommate almost walked in on me during some of the longer conversations, but was able to pass it off as nothing. Plus 10 stealth points for me. The big day came, and after 4 hours of an arduous train ride, a homeless man gave me bad directions and sent me into Eastern California, which is remarkably like the hills have eyes, with the obvious exception that the nuclear testing zone has fewer radioactive mutants. We finally met up again and consummated our extremely horny partnership. After a long weekend of sex, drugs, and bad indie music, we parted ways more or less amicably, knowing that the long-distance relationship wasn't going to last. Like the unrepentant soft boy I was, I spent the train ride home listening to Elliott Smith and projecting my sadness to the California landscape. I arrived back at my dorm, still somber, to see a missed call from home. I call back, and my dad picks up. He opens the discussion with 7 words I will never forget as long as my electrode heart still beats, /u/rango_unchained, what the fuck did I raise? Long story short, I had apparently logged into Facebook on my extremely old-fashioned father's work laptop before I left, and the gormless lizard people fine folks at Silicon Valley decided it would be a good time to experiment with opt-out push notifications. In short, he got every single solitary message that this girl had sent to me, including but not limited to her ex being into diaper play, as well as her selling used underwear online for drug money. Not to mention, 2 weeks of extremely graphic sexting. He had tried stopping the notifications very early on, but being that the most complicated piece of technology he can wrap his head around is the inclined plane, he had no choice but to watch in horror as he was unceremoniously subjected to a fusillade of catastrophically horny messages as he was trying to fill out his spreadsheets. After taking my father's 40-minute verbal berating, I laid down in my dorm, feeling like every ounce of blood had just been drained from my arteries. I believe it took a cool 2 hours for my heart to start beating again. Years have passed since. Me and Dee remain friends, and everyone I've told this story to, including my mom, has usually been able to get a good laugh at it. However, my relationship with my father is to this day still a little weird. If you can't get a solid chuckle out of it, that means all my suffering was in vain, so you better enjoy the hell out of this story. TL Doctor, Catholic dad learns about life beyond missionary. Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/Valent_93. TIFU by taking a 1 a.m. bath. TIFU by taking a bath at 1 a.m. and getting the police called on me. Just want to start off by saying that Corona has royally fucked with my sleep pattern, and I am not usually awake at 1 a.m. because I am boring and like to sleep. I am also very prone to panicking and have anxiety. I'm also female. So, tonight I decided at 1 a.m. to go for a bath. The reason for this will come to light later in the story. Just minutes after I leave the bath and get changed into my PJs, there is a knock on the door. I panic, as it's almost 2 in the morning, and then I hear someone shout through the letterbox, "Open the door, it's the police." I open the door and the conversation goes like this, quite loudly as they're midway down my drive due to social distancing. Policeman 1, hello, we received a report of strange activity at this address tonight. It was reported there may have been a suicide attempt. Me, what? Policeman 2, a neighbor reported that they believe someone at this house may have been attempting to kill themselves and we wanted to check in and make sure everything was alright. Me, yeah, I was just taking a bath. Policeman 2, that might have been what was heard. Have you made attempts to take your own life in the past? Me, no, I was just taking a bath. Policeman 1, at 1 a.m.? Me, yes. Policeman 2, and you think that may be what the call was in relation to? You having a bath? It is unusual behavior. Me, yes, it is. I'm sorry, they must have heard the water through the wall. We have very thin walls and my bathroom is against their bedroom. I understand their worry, it won't happen again. Policeman 1, do you mind if I ask why you were taking a bath at 1 a.m.? Me, panicking, I just wanted to. Policeman 2, it doesn't seem like this is something you do often if your neighbor reported it. Are you sure there is nothing wrong? Me, panicking even more, I'm fine. Policeman 1, you don't seem too sure of that. Me, I wanted to shave. Policeman 2, looking confused, excuse me? Me, beginning to cry, I was shaving. Policeman 2, you decided to shave at 1 in the morning? Me, now sobbing, yes, I was shaving my vagina. Policeman 1, now growing concerned, why were you doing that at 1 in the morning? Me, because I wanted to take nudes. Policeman 2, that's illegal. Policeman 1, was someone forcing you to take these images? Me, visibly shaking as I cry, what? No, taking nudes isn't illegal, I was going to send them to a guy I've been seeing. Policeman 1, it is illegal to take and distribute those types of images. Is there anyone else at home right now? Me, no, it's just me. I still don't understand, it's not illegal, just stupid. Policeman 1, looking at Policeman 2 for a long time, then back to me, I think we need to bring you to the station, this is very serious. Me, almost hyperventilating, I don't understand what's happening. Policeman 1, do you have a parent or guardian we can contact? Me, why do you want to contact my parents about this? Policeman 2, we can't interview you without a parent present. Me, them. Me, realizing what's going on, I'm 26. Policeman 1, what? Me, now crying and laughing, I'm 26, this is my house, do you want to see my ID? So, I show my ID to the police and they apologize through their laughing and tell me they thought I was around 15. We had a good laugh about it and they did lecture me about sending nudes. But yeah, that's the story of how I almost got arrested for taking and distributing child porn because I took a bath at 1 a.m. Edit, I really didn't expect this to blow up the way it did, so I'm going to make a few points. 1. I am self-isolating alone. My area has received countless messages about looking after neighbors. It is no wonder they were concerned after hearing me on the phone countless times saying I was going mad being by myself. 2. The police were in no way nasty. The reason this is in TIFU is because it was me who fucked up in the way I was behaving, and the conversation was fully led by the fact I was exhausted and freaked out in this entire situation anyway. From the second I heard it is the police, not because I am afraid of them, because I thought something may have happened. 3. Thank you all so much for the karma, but for anyone accusing me of making this up, you can believe I'm lying if you want to, but please do not continue to message me, it's unnecessary. I've no reason to lie, I just wanted to tell someone without my friends and family finding out about the entire embarrassing thing. TL, doctor, I took a bath at 1 a.m., neighbor called police because they thought I was attempting suicide. Police mistake me for a child after I tell them I was taking nudes, and I almost get arrested for taking child porn of myself at 26 years old. Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/Luch. TIFU by taking a dump in the woods and ending up in the ER. Obligatory. This didn't actually happen today. This happened my senior year of high school, and it's taken a decade for me to feel brave enough to tell anyone. First off, it's important to note I live in a rural area in the Midwestern states. Lots of farms and woods, not much else. Second relevant fact is I have IBS stomach issues that flare up whenever I get nervous. So on this particular day I was driving to pick up a young lady to go on our first date. This was not any first date, we were going to go to prom together. I was pretty into this girl, so saying I was nervous is an understatement. When people say they are so nervous that their stomach is turning, that was literally me. My bowels were ready to blow. Problem though, I didn't want to show up at the girl's house and rush in to wreck the toilet, but there also weren't any gas stations or anything to stop it on the drive. So my stupid teenage mind comes up with a simple yet elegant solution. Pull over and take a dump in the woods. I didn't think that through. When I stopped I realized I didn't have any toilet paper, so I grabbed a t-shirt my buddy had left in my backseat, didn't tell him what happened until years later, and headed into the woods. I did what I went to do, left the defiled shirt in the woods and headed back to the car. Surprisingly, the night went great. Had a wonderful time, bunch of memories, all that stuff. The real fun though kicked in a day or two later. I just hopped out of the shower and felt a bump on the underside of my scrotum. Upon closer inspection I found there's a tick secularly latched and enjoying life. I freak. I tried removing it but that sucker was dug in tight. My first reaction is to tell my folks, but if my siblings found out I'd never live that down. I thought about driving to the ER but I didn't have my own insurance, so I finally disclosed it all to my pops. He handled it like a pro, though I'm sure he and mom had a laugh later, and took me to the ER. I got it removed and don't seem any worse for it. Oh, and the girl from prom, she's my wife of 5 years now. And she is never to know this. TL doctor, I dropped my pants in the woods, got a dick tick and ended up in the ER to get it removed. Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/gayname22. TIFU by ruining a 12-year-old girl's life, NSFW. First off, some background information. Obligatory. This happened 10 years ago when I was in the 6th grade. This was around the time when you start changing clothes for PE. This was also shortly after I learned what cancer is, and subsequently, how if unchecked, the cancerous tissue can turn necrotic and darken. With that out of the way, a girl that had a locker by me, for some unknown reason, would get bare-ass naked when getting changed. Now, I had no familiarity or even knowledge of other vulvas other than my own, and hers did not look like mine. She had longer inner labia, and they were much darker than the rest of her skin. Now, I would like to take a moment now, as an adult, to say that all genitals are normal, natural, and even beautiful, and I would never want to make anyone feel as though they are deformed, wrong, or anything like that. That being said, with my new knowledge of necrotic tissue, and this poor girl's genitals looking so different from mine, I came to the conclusion that Nicole had cancer. So, being 12 years old, I told my friends, who told their friends. And so it went on until it felt like everyone at the school knew that Nicole had cancer. It got to the point where our math teacher brought her flowers. One day during lunch, she yelled out that she most certainly did not have cancer and asked that everyone would stop saying that she did. Well, I felt like an idiot. It never got back around to me, but I still feel terrible about it to this day. She moved away that summer and then rumors spread that she succumbed to the cancer. TL, doctor, I accidentally started a rumor that another girl had cancer because her genitals looked different from mine. She moved away presumably because the rumors were too much for her. Story from r/TIFU. Posted BYU Net. TIFU by accidentally making chloroform. Edit. Jesus Christ, this will probably be my most upvoted post ever, and it's about me being an idiot. Hi mom. Obligatory. This actually happened about 3 weeks ago. The pandemic situation was just getting noticeably relevant in my country too, so everyone had started buying up all the rubbing alcohol in the stores. It's still hard to find and you kinda have to not go overboard with it so as to avoid running out. We only had one bottle left at the time. I thought to myself, if I use 2 substances, I'll double the use and hopefully be able to kill more potential viruses. Yay! So I put rubbing alcohol in a spray bottle, added some bleach and topped it up with a bit of water. Bleach we had in abundance, so there were no worries there. The rubbing alcohol here is colored blue, and I noticed the mixture also turned clear overnight, but would turn blue again when shaken. Chemistry is fun, I thought. I started using this to wipe all the doorknobs in the house, and also on the front door and the floor where we'd come in with our outside shoes. Cleaned my and my boyfriend's keys, just having a blast. Now, I have monthly migraines. Really awful ones sometimes, more bearable ones other times. I got a bad migraine one evening. It wasn't that time of the month, when I usually get one, but I didn't think much of it. The next day I woke up, and my head still hurt. I ate quite a bit of ibuprofen and other painkillers, but nothing made the headache budge. Every day for the next week I had a headache, day and night. And then one evening I thought I'd Google, can you mix alcohol and chlorine? Sure you can. But don't mix alcohol and chlorine. Side effects of this combo include headaches, nausea, dizziness. Guess I shouldn't have skipped my high school chemistry classes. When I realized I had essentially tried to drug myself and my boyfriend with chloroform, I carefully poured the mixture down the toilet, cleaned all the doorknobs with soapy water and aired out the house for several hours. The week-long headache stopped. What do you know? So please, if you decide to mix two chemicals together, at least Google it first, not like my dumb ass. Doctor, accidentally made chloroform and used it to clean several things in the house, resulting in unexplainable headaches and nausea. Don't date rape yourself, kids. Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/BennaBoxing. TIFU. When I sent an explicit text to the wrongest person possible. A while back my wife and I were cozied up on the couch when my adult stepson, who never leaves the house and rarely leaves his room, video games, came downstairs to announce he was going out for a couple drinks with friends on the following Tuesday. I had just recently told my wife how I wished he would get out more, if for nothing else, so we could get freaky in our house wherever we like without having someone pop out of his room and interrupt. He has a knack for coming down at the most inopportune moments. Shocked and excited, I immediately texted my wife even though she was sitting next to me on the couch. Looks like I'll be fucking your brains out right here on this couch next Tuesday. I looked over at her with a mischievous grin for a response, but she had none. Maybe she didn't get it yet, I thought, so I waited. Then I got a return text. Geez, I hope not, Mom. I had texted my mother earlier in the day and was still on that chat, not my wife's. I screamed, no, and curled into a ball on the couch to die. My wife was dying with laughter when I explained it to her. That Tuesday night out never even happened. TLDR, I thought I was texting my wife about having sex on the couch. I was texting my mother instead. Story from r/TIFU. Posted by u/Sisanu. TIFU. By googling horse vaginas. This was yesterday. I was browsing on Reddit. Someone asked the question, if you were at gunpoint and you had to have sex with an animal, what would you choose? And a top comment said horses because they have the most human looking vagina. Me being the curious idiot that I am, well, I googled horse vagina. Seconds later my mom calls me for lunch. I left the laptop the way it was and went downstairs. This is where shit went south. Now usually no one ever comes into my room, but my brother broke his charger and went in to borrow mine. He sees the laptop and comes downstairs and tells everyone. Doctor, I googled horse vaginas and left my room. My brother saw it and now my whole family thinks I'm a zoophile.
Thanks for watching. Please do like, share, comment and subscribe for more videos.